I'd like to call the city council meeting to order, and I would invite everyone to rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
My apologies for starting without Bob Sherlock being in place. How dare I do that? Hey, we'll wait till you get settled here, Bob.
If he's not here on time, I mean... Yeah, fell asleep out here.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, get to it.
Now, Phyllis would have roll call, please.
Greg Koshaw.
Here.
Matt Dyer.
Here.
Alan Camp.
Here.
Scott Murray.
Here.
Wiley Sir.
Here. Thank you. You all emailed a copy of our minutes from the February 6th meeting. I'd look for a motion to either amend or accept the minutes as emailed.
Make that motion.
I'll second it. A motion for approval of the minutes from February 6th and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you. First thing up is Adams County Economic Development Corp. With their annual agreement for our payment to them. Phyllis, you want to kind of, what is it we give them every year? 20?
Two payments of $21,514.16.
Total of $43,028.31.
And that, they figure that it's 13% of our seeded distribution. So how they calculate that.
And yeah, for the younger council members, Byrne, Decatur, Geneva, Monroe, the county, all share in the funding for Adams County Economic Development Corp. And ours is, like Phyllis said, it's all based on our population, our size, etc. So.
And their board consists of the mayor.
The board consists of one person from each community, as well as one council member from the largest community, that being Craig. And then it also has people from the utility companies. It has bankers. There's 2 or 3 bankers.
Utilities,
The school systems, the superintendent.
School system and representative from agriculture.
It's pretty big, agriculture is a pretty big board. Meet monthly and go over all the things that Trevor's doing. And now, of course, Connect to Careers falls into that as well. Jim, what's his name?
James Teeple.
James Teeple is doing that, and he seems to be doing a pretty good job, I think.
We've got a lot of programs going forward towards training for
workforce development.
Industrial workforce development.
Yeah. So this is more of a formality than anything, but if anybody has a dispute or a concern, express it now. But I would be looking for a motion to for me to sign off on the contract for their services.
So moved.
I have a motion from Matt to approve the agreement with Adams County Economic Development Corp. And I have a second from Scott. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Next thing on my agenda, I believe it was emailed to you, and that is the CF1 form for Prime Inc. And I don't know, did any of you print it off, or do you have recollection of what it consisted of? I printed it off myself here. Do you want to look at? Scott has one. You guys can share over there.
Here this year?
Nope. You're good to go. The CF1s that we get, how many do we have out, Phyllis? Do you have an idea? Is it?
I think there's like 15.
Okay, and each year by May 15th, they have to submit their annual CF1 forms with us. And it was due to Prime Inc.'s submission a few years ago that actually got brought to council. Up until then, it was just a matter of the mayor signing off on them, because generally everyone complies with what they say they planned to do. So looking at both their statement of benefits and personal property and real estate improvements, do I have any comments? Or
did anybody, other than submitting the form, Mayor, did anybody from Prime contact you pleading their case. I see no one from Prime is here this evening, or their attorney.
Basically, what you would do is if you are inclined not to approve it, then you make a preliminary determination to deny it, and then we have to schedule a public hearing, and
That's when they would come.
that's when they have an opportunity to be heard. Then you adopt a resolution either authorizing or approval of the abatement or denying it.
And 2 years ago, we denied it, and that's when they sent a contingent up here from Springfield, Missouri, and we heard them out and denied it. Last year, we denied it. We had the public hearing, and did he come last year? By himself? Yeah, just one person came, and we denied it again. And
I'm inclined, based on what we see, to go through that process again. I don't see substantial compliance. They estimated 38 employees, and they're currently at 17. So nowhere near.
Comparing it from last year to this year, they added 2 to the current number of employees. And for their salaries, added another $267,498. That was the difference
So
from
it's
last year to this
moving
year.
in the right direction. Now, where did you get that information? Is that on here somewhere?
No, I figured it from the last year's to this year's.
Okay. You just look at, last year it was 15 employees, this year it's 17. In all honesty, I think they just messed up when they asked for this initially. They never should have, said 38 employees. And they should have been very modest about what they wanted to do, and if they exceeded it, then so be it. But to overshoot what you...
The basis of their request initially was that they would retain or create that number of jobs. And basically, if you recall, that was a contract that expired with Ruan, and when Bunge bid it out, Prime acquired the contract, and they represented that they would
Retain those
maintain
employees.
similar employment. And as it turned out, that's not been the case. They claimed that they employ a lot of independent contractors, and that should be counted. But those are not employees, and that's not annual payroll to the employees, which is basically what tax abatements typically look for.
And when that happened, that hurt a lot of people out there too.
Sure.
So, the other thing, Phyllis, if you would, check, because I don't recall off the top of my head, the length of time for the abatement on personal property. But if we granted this in 2010 or 11...
Might be their last
It was
year.
11.
Yeah, I don't know what the length of
Say.
time for an abatement on the
It
personal
should,
property
yeah.
was, or that may be nearing expiration, or it may have already
Sure.
expired.
Yeah, it was in 2011, Tim.
Okay. So if we granted it for 10 years, they'd still be within the range, but if it was for 5 years, then they should be beyond the period that they're even entitled to an abatement.
It's amazing what Phyllis carries with her and what she has at her fingertips all the time.
Right.
You want the
Oh, the
resolution?
resolution.
2010-5. 2010-5.
It was 5 years for the equipment, 10 for the real estate.
5 for the equipment and 10 for the real estate. So the one really is,
I'm not even sure that they qualify.
It should be. I'll double check with the assessor, but I don't know.
okay.
Oh,
Maybe they didn't realize that.
we should probably figure that out before we ask them to come here. If they don't even
Well,
qualify.
real estate is still.
Yeah.
Real estate, they can still apply.
Yeah, there's two separate,
Yeah, they file one for personal property, one for real estate.
okay? Did I have a motion over here, or you, just a comment?
I will make that a motion that we should,
Preliminarily deny it and set it for public hearing.
that's my motion.
That's what I thought you said.
I'll second that motion.
Wiley seconds that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you. So Phyllis, you will notify them, and
So then
do
we'll
we need
know
to schedule that public hearing for our next council meeting, or?
Whenever you choose to do it.
Okay.
It needs to be done within the next meeting or two.
Do it? Yeah. Yeah, the next meeting is March 6th, so we could schedule a public hearing for then, and
So we're doing...
if they decide to come, so be it.
I believe it's March 7th.
March, what'd I say?
6.
It's the 6th, isn't it? That's 18, yeah. Yep,
Oh.
March 6th. All right,
Then
you got the wrong calendar.
This needs to come down. It's stuck.
Yeah, they should be blue.
Yeah, the red ones are no longer any good.
Okay.
All right. Phyllis will take care of getting a hold of, what's his name, Justin, I think, the attorney, and go from there. All right, thank you.
On for life.
Next thing we have would be the third reading of ordinance 2018-3, our bond ordinance for the waterworks revenue bonds. And that's ordinance 2018-3, and Phyllis, I bet, has a copy of it for Mr. Baker. And look at that, there it is. And
Ken, any public comment on it
on,
before we...
yeah, sure. Before we look for a motion on the third reading of 2018-3, is there anyone here from the public with a comment on that or anything? So, seeing none, I would look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-3 on its
Third reading.
third reading by short title only.
Motion and a second to pass ordinance 2018-3 on its third reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Tim?
Ordinance number 2018-3, an ordinance of the City of Decatur, Indiana authorizing the acquisition, construction, installation of extensions, additions, and improvements to the waterworks of the City of Decatur, Indiana, authorizing the issuance of waterwork revenue bonds to provide for the cost thereof, the collection, segregation, distribution of the revenues of such waterworks, and certain other matters connected therewith.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-3 on its third reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2018-3 on its third reading. Would have roll call vote?
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray,
Yes.
Wiley Sirk.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2018 has been adopted. And while we're on this subject, Tim was talking to me on the phone the other day and was, it's really important that we got this done, because interest rates right now are not going down.
No.
Tim, what did you say? They've changed almost a half a point?
They've
since-
gone up over a half a point in less than
Yeah.
2 months.
The school just found that out too. They
So-
didn't make quite as much as they were hoping.
Yeah, I checked with Jennifer Wilson because I was concerned about the rapid rise in interest rates and making sure that they had accounted or built that into what they were projecting. As of, I think it was last Thursday when I talked to her, she indicated that they were still about 25 basis points below the maximum that they anticipated. So, as long as we don't have a major spike, we should still be in the ballpark in terms of what they were projecting. So,
Now, how soon, now that we've passed this on the third reading?
the bonds will be sold, I believe, on March 27th, and the closing will be on the 12th. So,
April 12th.
April 12th. So March 27th is kind of the critical date because that's when we'll receive bids on the bond issues. So there's a number of things that'll kind of be happening in the background where an official statement will be put together. There's some advertising that will need to be done, and we'll be working with bond counsel on that to make sure that gets done. The advertising is done in a national publication, but it's also done locally, so we'll work with Tom Pittman on that to make sure that that's done.
Okay. Thank you. And I'll sign these here after the meeting. And I'm down to,
So will those be amended to Adams County residents?
want to make a recommendation from the Board of Works to the council members. There was a presentation earlier at the Board of Works meeting, or actually we opened bids for the actual marketing of the Hannah Nutman project, and we received bids from 2 firms, and then a presentation was made from Lofthouse Films. I'd look for council's okay to proceed with Lofthouse Films. And that was for a, last month when we discussed this, we asked for the okay to use $20,000 of our $50,000 of marketing campaign funds, subject to everything being acceptable with Lofthouse. After meeting with them again and getting more extensive numbers from them, we realized that I was in error, that the number I presented, and actually there were other expenses associated with that, and that it's actually going to be $20,000 to Lofthouse Films, plus an additional $10,000 in expenses for various services and literature and banners and different things that'll take place. So look for council to approve using Lofthouse Films for our marketing of Hannah Nutman at an expense of a total of $30,000.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Matt. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Tyler. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Thank you. Tim, do you have anything this evening? Because believe it or not, Bob, that's all I have. 17 minutes.
I do have some.
Right now.
I got a
It's
couple.
not over yet,
Yeah, I
right?
have a couple.
You got Jeremy to go.
Go ahead, Phyllis. No.
Who got front, he's gone.
We haven't had one of these short ones in a long time, Bob. We're due. What do you have there, Phyllis?
I just need to write off some checks that are over 2 years old. Before March 1st, I have to do this each year, and there were 3 checks that were never cashed, totaling $238.
These were checks we issued and never were cashed.
So,
And they were just small checks. The largest one was $30. And there were 3 of them.
and then I'll just receipt these back into the general fund. I just need to make that part
I'll
of the
make a
record.
motion.
Second. Oh, I didn't see that one there, okay. I have a motion, then did I have a second?
Second. I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Thank you, Phyllis. What else you got?
That's all. Thank you.
Your turn, Tim.
Okay. Back in July 18th, the Board of Works indicated that they would like to see golf cart registration fees and fines collected for golf cart citations to not be receipted into the general fund, but into the local law enforcement continuing education fund. Secondly, the board approved any violations for weeds and neglected vegetation where we have to go in and mow. If we incur expenses and charge a fine for that, any of those fines would then be submitted to the city and would be deposited again, not into the general fund, but in the Park and Rec fund at that point. And the reason for Park and Rec there was because they're the ones that are doing the mowing. So in those minutes, it was directed that that be done as of January, and Phyllis was kind enough to point out that we needed to get that done because she's starting to get checks. So I drafted a couple of ordinances, because that's how you do it, which changes where these funds go from the general fund into the 2 funds that I mentioned. So Phyllis, what's the next ordinance? And we'll do the golf cart registration fees and fines that would then go into the local law enforcement continuing education fund.
Number 5.
5?
2018-5, this is an ordinance, and we can do all 3 readings.
Make a motion to place ordinance 2018-5 on its first reading by short title only.
Second. Have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2018-5 in its first reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Tim?
Ordinance 2018-5, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur which amends Chapter 72 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented for the purpose of authorizing the deposit of golf cart registration fees and golf cart citation fines into the local law enforcement continuing education fund.
Make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-5 on its first reading.
Second.
A motion and a second to pass ordinance 2018-5 in its first reading. Phyllis, have a roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray,
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes. Make a motion to place ordinance 2018-5 on its second reading by short title only.
I have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2018-5 in its second reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Tim?
Before I read this, I should also mention that the way the ordinance is set up, this would be retroactive to January 1 because Phyllis has already received some checks and put them in those accounts.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Take it away.
With amendment?
it's in the ordinance. It's in the ordinance, so. Ordinance number 2018-5, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur, Indiana, which amends Chapter 72 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented for the purpose of authorizing the deposit of golf cart registration fees, golf cart citation fines into the local law enforcement continuing education fund.
Make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-5 on its second reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2018-5 on its second reading. Phyllis, with a roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray,
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes. Make a motion to pass.
Suspend the rules.
Suspend the rules and
No,
Place.
no, we're all through, yeah.
Oh, sorry, my fault.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and place 2018-5 on its third reading by short title only.
Thanks, Wiley.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2018-5 in its third reading by short title only after suspending the rules. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you. Tim?
Ordinance 2018-5, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur which amends Chapter 72 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented for the purpose of authorizing the deposit of golf cart registration fees and golf cart citation fines into the local law enforcement continuing education fund.
Make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-5 on its third reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2018-5 on its third reading. We have a roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray, Wiley Sir.
Yes.
Ordinance 2018-5 has been adopted. And Tim, you have another one.
Yep, this will now be 2018-6. This is, again, effective January 1 of this year, and this is the ordinance that would authorize deposit of funds collected for mowing yards deemed a nuisance, and allowing that to be deposited in the city's Park and Recreation Fund.
I'll make a motion then to place ordinance 2018-6 on its first reading by short title only.
Second. I have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2018-6 on its first reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim?
Ordinance 2018-6, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur which amends Chapter 92 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented for the purpose of authorizing the deposit into the city's Park and Recreation Fund, all costs assessed and collected for mowing yards deemed a nuisance.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-6 on its first reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2018-6 on its first reading. Would have roll call vote, Phyllis?
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp,
Yes.
Scott Murray,
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes. I'll make a motion to place ordinance 2018-6 on its second reading by short title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to place ordinance 2018-6 in its second reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Tim?
Ordinance 2018-6, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur which amends Chapter 92 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented for the purpose of authorizing the deposit into the city's Park and Recreation Fund, all costs assessed and collected for mowing yards deemed a nuisance.
I'll make a motion to pass ordinance 2018-6 on its second reading. Second.
I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2018-6 in its second reading. Would have roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Yes.
Scott Murray.
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes. I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and place ordinance 2018-6 on its third reading by short title only.
I have a motion and a second from a quiet Scott over here, Barb, to place ordinance 2018-6 in its third reading by short title only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Tim?
Ordinance 2018-6, short title, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Decatur which amends Chapter 92 of the Decatur Code of Ordinances of 2015 as supplemented for the purpose of authorizing the deposit into the city's Park and Recreation Fund, all costs assessed and collected for mowing yards deemed a nuisance.
I'll make a motion now to pass ordinance 2018-6 on its third reading.
Second. I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2018-6 on its third reading. Would have a roll call vote.
Craig Koshaw,
Yes.
Matt Dyer,
Yes.
Tyler Fulenkamp.
Yes.
Scott Murray.
Yes.
Wiley Sir.
Yes.
Ordinance 2018-6 has been adopted. Thank you. Tim, what's next?
I think
Come on,
that's...
Tim.
For council, that's all I have.
All right. And Phyllis, you have nothing else? Council members, do you have any?
We
Oh,
need to table this again.
Yes.
yeah, we probably should. And hopefully Kevin and Tim and I will be meeting here soon to discuss
Utility liability ordinance.
our utility liability ordinance, which was ordinance 2017-15.
15.
And we've been tabling it. If you guys would, please, let's
I'll
table it.
make a motion to table ordinance 2017-15.
A motion
Second.
and a second to table ordinance 2017-15. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Tyler.
Local water bill.
Any other comments from council members on anything this evening?
One thing, Mayor, just a plea to the public. Today was the nicest weather, warmth of the year. Despite the rain, people are out and about. But please be mindful of the sidewalks. Just walking from the store down here, at least 2 dogs have done their business on the sidewalks. And we're really trying to make a concentrated effort to clean up the community. Let's please be mindful of that.
Thank you, because I will concur. I've witnessed the
annoying.
exact same thing right outside the doors here.
That might be a message.
Bob. Bob. Who's a Friday night for sure. Friday night column. Lenny, you got anything? Les? Kurt? Kevin? Don? And Melissa? All right.
Decatur's Most Talented is this weekend. It's on Sunday at 6 o'clock at Belmont High School. Tickets are on sale. They're $5 for adults and $10 for kiddos. The price will go up $1 the day of the show. There are 14 acts this year, and from what I've heard, the lineup is going to be great. We have some great new local talent that you're going to see. So it's a good family night and then to come out to on a Sunday night. So join us on Sunday.
And if I want to purchase tickets, where might I do that?
You can buy them here, we've got them here, and you can buy them at the Corner Cafe.
Corner Cafe or at City Hall. I did not make it to the second one last year, but I was at the first one, and I agree. Some of the local talent's pretty impressive, so what else are you going to do on a Sunday night? Come on out. Jeremy?
Somebody loan Bob another pen. There you go.
Harry?
Very good. Anyway, with the warm weather that we saw today and with the recent rains, potholes are going to be a thing that's coming. Will rapidly pop up overnight. Our pothole patrol has been out weekly, sometimes daily, the last couple of weeks when weather's permitting. Please call if you see a pothole someplace or if you have a pothole that's bothering you, or you can get on the city's website to the problem reporter. It's very easy to report. It goes directly to us, and then we will be right out to take care of it. Ken and I briefly had a conversation this morning about projects and things that are ongoing and we're picking back up. Over the next couple of weeks, you will see more activity on Madison Street from the Madison Street Plaza as the weather warms up. That's going to be a good sign. I think spring's coming. I did talk with Rick Ballmer today from Fremco, and he's hopeful that next week the temperatures will level out and they can get in here and start working. A lot of that is weather dependent. Just keep that in mind. But other than that, things are progressing. Over the next month or so, you'll start to see some small street projects and water main improvements starting out as the weather stabilizes.
Jeremy, again, what's the timeline for Monroe Street?
That is one thing I was going to bring up. Recently, I did attend a pre-construction meeting with NDOT, and that project was in a bundle with, I believe, 6 other projects in this area, in Adams, Wells, and Allen County. R.L. McCoy is the general contractor. They're looking to come in here about the first week or two in April and start on all the handicap ramps and the concrete patching on some sidewalks and stuff that they need to.
That's pretty good right there.
To replace some storm water inlets, some catch basins, do a lot of adjustment, and then they will actually mill and pave from the bridge at Double Eagle.
Thank you.
Out on 224 West to the bridge here on First Street. So
Okay.
it's very, very much needed.
Yeah.
Just bear with us. It's rough. It's bumpy. Part of it's been from some utility issues that we've had this winter. Just bear with us here. They're hoping to have completion by mid-year.
Okay.
It could be sooner depending on the 6 other projects that are all lumped together. They start one, they get about a third into it, they start another one, get about a third into it, and start another one, and such. So they're hoping they can breeze through all 7 relatively soon. I have saw them in town recently, so I'm pretty confident that they're getting all their ducks in a row so they can get started as soon as they can. That's it.
Good. Thank you.
The annual Chamber of Commerce dinner was last Thursday evening, and the master of ceremonies was John Kentz. And Bob, if you make mention of Monroe Street, you might want to include John Kentz's name in there somewhere, because he used that as part of his comedy routine all throughout the evening. Chamber, he kept mentioning, have I told everyone how terrible Monroe Street is? And he must have mentioned
it 5 times.
Yeah.
And we had some federal representatives there.
Oh, yeah, it was a
listening to that, so it was really,
So yeah,
It was good.
It was pretty comical.
it was good.
The chamber event was really well attended, and it was a fun evening. Time went quick, and hats off to Dave Haggard, Manly Meats, and WZBD for their recognition this year. And a good job done by
Yeah.
Craig and all the volunteers that helped set up and pull off the event.
Also recognition of Joel.
Massoff.
And Joel Massoff,
is
yeah.
the president.
Yes,
Yeah, that was very cool.
that was.
Yep. Jeremy?
Okay, Bob, I had a breather. Last Thursday morning, I had a quarterly tracking project meeting, if you will, with NDOT on our 5 Points project. At the same time, about 10 minutes before the meeting started, I received the long-awaited contract back with the federal government. When we applied for that project, we applied for construction money only. NDOT and Federal Highway did come through for us and they are going to pay 80% of the project.
Here, here.
That is good news.
You just found that out just 15 minutes ago?
Friday.
Oh, Friday, okay.
15 minutes before the meeting.
Where was I all day?
Friday.
That's some good news, everyone.
Hopefully this week I will get a FEMA's release, which basically in short, we will be able to get started on all of our preliminary studies and such for the project. Figure out what we're going to do, what we're not going to do. So look for that to be a lot of activity going on down there with people walking around and doing some traffic studies. Probably mid-March,
Thank you.
I would think. So, I promise that's it this time, Bob.
Any comments from the public? Comments from the public? Only thing I have then is that I just want to recognize one of our elected officials whose birthday is tomorrow. And this elected official began her serving with Decatur on August 1st, 1997. So this past August, she completed 20 years service with the city, and we're blessed to have Phyllis on staff. And happy birthday tomorrow to Phyllis Whitwright. And that's all I have.
Funny story, Grandpa said when they come in twos, we're done. 9 and 10. Phyllis is number 10.
When you get things perfected, you quit, right?
That's right.
Motion to pay the claims. Thank you, I was looking for that. I have a motion and a second to pay the claims, all in favor?
Aye.
Same?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, the same. Thank you. We are adjourned.